I will be showing you, in my opinion, the best weapons to use in Cold War zombies. What I'll be doing is I'll be going over every single weapon class bit by bit and explain to you the weapons that in my opinion are the best to use. Now this is kind of opinion based because there are certainly weapons out there that some people might consider worse or consider better than the ones that I go over. And obviously I'm not going to cover every single weapon in the game because if you don't know, every single weapon now can be spawned in purple rarity because of the super Easter egg, which I am going to be taking into consideration in today's video. And especially I'm going to also be taking a look at Onslaught because that's the game that I feel like weapon rarity does definitely mean something since you don't have any wonder weapons, and obviously if you're going for a high round you're better off using like a ray gun or anything like that. But the last weapon that I'll be going over is definitely like literally a wonder weapon competitor. But the thing with this list is they can also be very much used on round base and outbreak. That's the cool thing about these, and some of them are specifically for those game modes. Also, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 32,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much. We just hit 31,500, which is very much appreciated. And also be sure to drop a like on the video as that does help out the spread of it, and maybe more people will see this list. Also, last thing, I know I'm kind of going on for a very long time. If you have any other weapons that you think I missed in this list that should have been on it, or have any attachment recommendations for any of them, definitely be sure to comment down below. So the first thing we're going to be taking a look at is assault rifles. And in my opinion, there are mainly two assault rifles that are really a standout. I'm personally not an assault rifle player in zombies, so it was kind of difficult to figure out which one was really the best, or in my opinion the most fun or good to use. And the first one is going to be the Groza. Now this weapon has been literally amazing since season 1 back in 2020. When did season 1 come out? 2020. Yeah, oh my god, this game's like 2 years old. It came out with season 1 and I remember doing tests back then and I was just amazed by the weapon damage on this thing. Obviously with purple rarity, as I will be using every single weapon nearly on this list, it's really good, especially on Onslaught. And if you pack a punch it and get it to gold rarity, this thing will be shredding through zombies. But again, as with every single one of these weapons, or nearly every single one, definitely don't go for around 100 with these things unless you're doing like a challenge. The next thing is going to be the Pharah. Now the cool thing with the Pharah in my opinion isn't its fire rate, which is kind of, you know, the classic assault rifle fire rate, but it's the headshot damage on this bad boy. It has some amazing headshot damage. It can like take out zombies for quite a few rounds. It's just going for the headshots. It's a really satisfying weapon to use, and if you have like zombies bunched up, it's actually going to be just as if you're cutting through butter. Just a very satisfying weapon to use. The next class we're going to take a look at is submachine guns. Now in my opinion there are three that are really a big standout for me personally, and I know that there is one that I probably should have on this list, but I haven't had the best experiences with it, and that is the OTS-9. I won't be talking about that, but that's one that I feel like some people might want me to put on this list. But anyway, on to my personal favorites. The first one is the UGR, which is a brand new submachine gun that just came out in the Cold War, and the reason I have it on this list is because it's amazing against the Legion. Not too long ago I did a Legion versus the UGR test, as I like to do those videos every so often, and I found out that it was very easy to take down Legion. Now I did use the explosive attachment, which is another highlight with this thing. Personally I wouldn't really use it on the normal zombies, but hey, if you want to hop in and just use the explosive variant of this weapon, which is just like an attachment on the magazines, then do. The ammo is definitely an issue, but the fact that it actually takes down Legion very easily and is just an addition to the possible weapons to use against it is really cool. And especially since it's a submachine gun, usually submachine guns don't really do good against the Legion, so it was a big surprise to me. The next weapon is just literally one of my favorites in all of COD history, and that is the Ppsh Pp. Now honestly the main reason it's on here is because number one, its ammo size, the damage it does, and its fire rate. It's just such a good weapon to use. 100% recommended. I don't know, I just love the Ppsh. There's nothing much more I can say. I've gone up to like round 100 sometimes with it. It's like my backup weapon at times. It's just really cool and satisfying to use. If you're ever gonna hop in with it, definitely take that extended magazine on that bad boy and just shred through those zombies. And the last one I'm gonna have on this list is one that I haven't seen, well actually haven't seen any videos in a long time of people talking about overpowered weapons, but that is the MAC-10. This bad boy, this bad boy is just like the Pharah in my opinion. Not only does it have really good fire rate, but the headshot damage is just so satisfying to go through those zombies. Number one, definitely don't recommend going for high rounds with this thing, but if you want to hop in on Onslaught, this thing will actually get you through those rounds pretty fast and pretty satisfying, on top of being able to pack a punch and also getting it maybe to that gold rarity if you have all of the Easter eggs completed. Now quickly moving on to the tactical assault rifles, and in my opinion there is really only one that is worth your time using, and it's arguably simply one of the best overall weapons in the whole game. Like, it's difficult to compete with it with the ones that I've already mentioned, and that is the M16. Now this bad boy, this bad boy has been amazing since the launch as well, just like let's say the Groza or something like that. It's just really good to use. I definitely recommend using it. I've used it for Easter egg runs. I've used it for running through the rounds really fast. The 3 burst on it can deal some amazing damage on those zombies and just allow you to go through those rounds really fast. So I 100% recommend overall just using the M16. Moving on to LMGs, once again similar to the tactical assault rifles, I think there's only really one LMG that's worth your time using. That is the MG82. Now this one, if you haven't gotten it from the battle pass, I think you can get it through like a challenge. I forgot to mention that since there are some that were like in battle passes, I think you can now complete challenges for them if you don't know. But the MG82 is an LMG that has pretty good ammo. It has really good ammo. It has really good damage and can get through those rounds really fast. I don't know if there's much more to say. I 100% recommend spawning in with it on Onslaught. You'll be slower because it's an LMG, but who cares? The damage on this bad boy is just too good not to use. Quickly moving on to the pistols. Now these things, this is an interesting part of the video because the 2 pistols that I will talk about are the Diamatis and the MP63. The reason I'm kind of covering them 2 at the same time is because they are not only literally the best things to use on Legion. Personally, I'm more of a fan of the MP63 just because you don't have to constantly press the trigger since the Diamatis are burst. But you know, some people will argue with me that, oh, you're stupid to use the Diamatis. But honestly, it doesn't matter. They're both amazing. If you just want your fingers to survive if you're on a controller, definitely use the MP63s. But also, these bad boys are very, very, very good just in normal round-based experiences or Onslaught. Personally, I would prefer using the Diamatis just because they kind of look cooler. I don't know. I'm a weird person. Okay, I prefer that. I prefer this. Definitely use the both of them. I'm just gonna cover them really fast because I don't know. There's not much more I can say. Now moving on to the shotguns. Now these are also very interesting because there are 4 shotguns and 3 out of the 4 are literally amazing. Number 1, the Howard. This bad boy was literally the most overpowered weapon ever created to man, and then they nerfed it. So now it's not the best, but it's still really good. And if you're planning to go into Outbreak, I would recommend spawning in with any of these 3 because these bad boys will take down Order really fast and just be very satisfying on killing zombies. And I'm pretty sure they're still like the meta for going super high rounds just because of their damage. The next one is going to be the Gallow, and this bad boy is like the Howard, but you don't have to constantly, you know, like cock back the gun or whatever that's called. You can just constantly shoot pew 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 and get through the zombies really fast. And the last one is the most interesting, and that is the Street Sweeper. Personally, I used to be a Street Sweeper hater. Nah, get that out of here. I am a Street Sweeper lover. The only disadvantage with this weapon is you'll be reloading forever with this thing. This thing has such a slow reload speed and so many bullets that you can put in with the extended mags that kind of makes it bad. But hey, who cares? It has some amazing damage, takes down Order fast, and again, in Outbreak, we'll be going through those zombies, or even Onslaught. Now moving on to the melee weapons, and similar to the pistols, I'm just going to cover these 2 at the same time because they're kind of almost the same thing. And that is the E2. You know, there's that E2 fan base out there, and the Size, which personally, I'm a Size lover. Now, the reason I really like the Size is because not only do they melee fast, they allow you to melee with 2 different triggers, since there's 2 of them, and you can, like, you know, poke zombies with both of them. But also, you can jump super far. Yes, it's like a weird thing that comes with this weapon. You can like leap far, and if you hop onto, let's say, Firebase Z, you can actually do that like first jump room that we were able to do back in the day that they like just patched, and now you can do it. Just skip that first door with it. So hey, if you want a weapon to spawn into Firebase Z, definitely use the Size. But now moving on to the E2, there's not much I can say apart from it's just great. It's a really fast melee weapon. It lets you run really fast, which the Size don't, but hey, who cares? And it's just, you know, it's just a classic at this stage. It melees fast. Definitely recommend spawning in any map, maybe not Onslaught or Outbreak, but any normal round-based map. Hell yeah, it will be giving you extra points because that's what melee weapons do. It'll be giving you your health back. So let's say you activate that rampage inducer, all you can do is then just sit in a corner and just bop them, and you'll be regenerating health because that's what melee weapons do to you, or just melee in general. And now moving on to the last class, literally the best weapon in the game in my opinion. Now this video wasn't made in a way of like best or worst to best because I kind of covered, you know, some amazing weapons like the M16, shotguns, pistols, stuff like that. But this is my baby. Even though I said that about the PPSH, don't care about that. The M79 grenade launcher, noob tube, whatever you want to call it, is glorious. Now this weapon has always been good, but the main thing that always stopped us from using it was the lack of PhD flopper, and now I guess it's called PhD slider. The combination of this fully pack-a-punch, fully leveled up PhD slider, ring of fire, oh my lord, you'll be getting round 100 easily. A few months back, I decided to go into every single round-based map and prove a point that this thing is super easy to get round 100 with. Yes, kind of is already really easy to get round 100 on Cold War Zombies, but this thing just made everything so easy. It was so laid back, so chilled out. And you know what? After this video, I'm gonna hop onto some zombies and go again because it's just so fun to use this weapon. You can shoot underneath your feet, you can shoot it around you, and you don't have to worry about anything. You can just spam it, buy that ammo, go back, ring of fire, bap, 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 bap. Easy round 100. It replaces the ray gun. It replaces the whatever other wonder weapon you want to use. I don't know. Maybe the DIE. I mean, the DIE is pretty good, but we're not covering the wonder weapons because that's pretty obvious that they're really good. Anyway, this video was way too long in my opinion. There was a lot of weapons to